Hi, guys. So today we want to work more on adding text evidence. Text evidence is like the evidence from the text that helps us answer the question. So, as always, we start with a plan, right? You guys remember this planning sheet? If you don't, where do you need to go? That's right, your Google Classroom. Rewatch the video. Don't forget to always do your planning sheet. And remember, if I see you make your planning sheet and use it on test day, you get a prize. All right. We're not going to rewatch it right now. But today, I want to teach you that when you bring in evidence to support something, it helps to sometimes quote directly from the text. So, before you can quote, you sometimes need to explain where in the text that part came from, telling what was going on. Then you use a transition to bring in the quoted part. Like you might use things like, for example, in the story, it said, at the beginning of the story, in the text it said, or a character said. So you got to sometimes use these little transition words to help your reader know what you're talking about. So let's practice with my question. My question is about how Benny's mood changes from the beginning to the end, right? And I need to tell why his mood changes, and you need to use details from the text. So there's two different versions of this. Let's read the blue one, and then we're going to read the green one. In digging for dinos, Benny's feelings changed. My evidence is this: my dinosaur tooth. I found a real live dinosaur tooth. Okay, pretty good, right? Does that show how Benny's feelings changed? Kind of. Okay, what about this one? In digging for dinos, Benny's feelings changed. When he found the dinosaur tooth in the dirt, Benny yelled, "My dinosaur tooth! I found a real, live dinosaur tooth!" So, what changed? Yeah, I gave you that part. The when he found the dinosaur tooth in the dirt. So, I was explaining to you what happened so that you understood why he was yelling that out, right? And I directly quoted what he said. So let's look at this one. So the evidence that we want to use is, what kind of tooth is this? Is it? Benny asked excitedly. So this is a piece of evidence to show how Benny's feelings have changed. How would I want to introduce this piece of evidence? Would I want to say, for example, what kind of tooth is it? Benny asked excitedly. Or use in the story it said, or at the beginning of the story, or in the text it said, or even a character said. How would I introduce that? Okay, so let's talk about it. Later, Dave came over to see the tooth and Benny was excited. Benny said, "What kind of tooth is it?" So, this is where I told you what was going on, and then I used the evidence. What kind of tooth is it? So, now I want you to try this in your writing. I want you to think about, how do people in the story dig for dinosaurs? This is the same writing we've been working on, right? And I want you to think about your evidence and make sure that you're thinking about how it is fits into your text. How are you including it? If you have finished writing at this point, you might could use this prompt also. But if you haven't finished writing, which I don't think anybody has, then we should be using the, how do people in the story dig for dinosaurs, and why does Benny keep digging for dinosaurs even though it's hard? If you have finished this particular prompt is in your packet. It is the it is writing prompt 2, and it is on page 7. So if you have finished, you could start a new plan and a new writing and start thinking about that on page 7 in your packet. But otherwise, we should still be working on the piece that we are doing. You could be still thinking about your introductions from yesterday, your conclusions from yesterday, and you also need to now make sure that your evidence has introductions to it, right? Like transitions. All right. I'll see you later.